I'm Jen from Dream Prague, and currently a foul of the law. Now, most of you know that I try to be a law-abiding American immigrant to the Czech Republic. I pay my taxes, I follow the majority of traffic laws. And so when I got a notice late Friday afternoon that there was a court-ordered executor coming for me, you can imagine it made for a stressful weekend. And the timing of this is not good. See, just a few days ago, on my 5th attempt, the government office finally accepted my application for citizenship. Accepted, not approved. So back to what you came here for. Why is there an executor trying to execute me? In English, an executor means something a little darker. An executor comes for you if you're trying to pay the ultimate debt. But if you need to pay money, we usually just send a debt collector. But every time I hear the Czech word executor, I get a little chill up my spine, especially when he has been sent to find me by Česká televize, or Czech television, my favorite public television station, home to such gems as Vypravěj and Herbář. So why is Czech television coming for me? It's because of a little thing in this country that is completely foreign to us Americans. It's arbitrary and confusing and inconvenient, and it's called a television license fee, otherwise known as the TV tax. So in Czechia, if we own a TV, we have to pay the equivalent of $74 to support public television every year, whether we watch it or not. In the US, we have to pay for public television too. Each tax-paying adult pays approximately $1.40 per year. And a lot of Americans are up in arms about this outrageous sum of money to support giant yellow birds and trash can Muppets who try to push their socialist values on us, like being kind to our neighbors and sharing our cookies. But Americans have to pay for public television too. The difference is that in America, the money to support public television comes out of the taxes we already pay. But in Czechia, it's a whole other separate tax that you have to personally pay to a whole other bank account than where your taxes go. And you better not forget. Now, I'm perfectly happy to pay extra taxes for public television in my adopted country, even if they charge me 25 times what American public television costs. But why an extra tax that requires me to do more banking and more accounting? Like, why not just have a streetlight tax that I have to pay every month? Or a sidewalk repair tax? Or, like the president's salary tax. Like, oh crap, it's the 14th. I've got to log onto my bank account to pay my portion of Pavel's salary this month. To me, it's just arbitrary and annoying to have to pay this as a separate tax. It's something that we immigrants from countries who don't have TV tax don't even think about, and so it slips through the cracks of our monthly accounting. When you arrive in Czechia as an immigrant, no one takes you aside and say, okay, this is how it works. You have to pay Social Security separately, and you have to pay your health insurance separately. Oh, and here are some numbers for you. Your birth number, your ditch, your IČO. These are really important numbers for all self-employed people here, and you initially get them on some random document, and no one tells you, write this number down because you're gonna use it all the time. Now, most immigrants hire a visa consultant when they first arrive, and everyone should, and they maybe explain a lot of this stuff to you once, but the big picture is very confusing, and you've got so many other things you're worried about as a new immigrant. A lot of this stuff you just learn in passing in a pub. Like, maybe one of your expat friends will maybe mention the TV tax, and you're like, I'm sorry, a what tax? And they say, you might have to pay it, you might not. Don't worry, you'll get a letter. And so eventually, the letters start coming. And again, they're all very wordy and they're all in Czech. And it's not like Kde je knihovna Czech. It's like heavy bureaucratic Czech that I often can't even read. And I don't really get into scams very much, but there are scams. Like when everybody applies for a trade license, they usually get a letter from this company that's unaffiliated with the government, and it's a bill, and it has a bank account to pay, and it's for 2,000 crowns. And so when you're brand new, you just think, oh, maybe this is the next fee, and you go to pay it. But this is a total scam. It's just a company that wants you to sign up to be on their directory. And if you're just using Google Translate, we didn't even have Google Translate when we got here, you don't know, it looks like a bill and you're just like, yes, take my money, I don't want to get in trouble. Sometimes it's not easy to see what's a scam made to look like a bill and what's an actual bill you have to pay. So when you get a letter that says you owe the equivalent of $74 for watching public television, you're like, okay, nice one. So as foreigners, we're getting the bulk of our information from other foreigners who've been here a little longer. And we know that like paying your social security separately is really important. Paying your health insurance is very important. But the word on the street about TV tax is very squishy. I've heard people, even Czech people, say that you only have to pay it if you speak Czech. I've heard people say you don't have to pay it if you only use your TV for Netflix or HBO. I've heard people say only Czech citizens have to pay it. And then a lot of people are like, how do they even know you have a TV? They don't inspect your house, which is true, unless you make videos in your living room with your TV clearly behind you. Also, that's not helpful because unless you write them and tell them, no, I don't own a television, you're gonna get a bill anyway. This is the embarrassing part. This is where all my Czech viewers are like, you dum-dum, why didn't you pay your TV tax? You should be executed. Well, this is also the part where all of my expat viewers need to pay close attention because there, but for the grace of God, go you. On Friday, I got a letter in my data box. So that's this super protected email service for Czech residents, and it's really convenient. The letter came from a court executor saying that I owe him 10,000 crowns or he'd freeze my bank account and seize my assets because I forgot to pay last year's TV tax. I vaguely remember getting a bill in my data box last November from Czech television. And I told Hansa, hey, remind me to pay the TV tax. And Hansa reminded me multiple times. But November for me was a very stressful month. I took the citizenships exam at the end of the month. I was so busy. I didn't even publish any videos, which means that I didn't earn any money. I was up to here with stuff. And then February rolled around. And Hansa asked me again, hey, did you ever pay that TV tax? And when I logged on to Databox, the bill had disappeared. Databox erases your messages after 3 months. And I just kind of figured like whatever that bill was, they'd send it again. And then I'd pay it. Turns out that that letter that I scanned but did not read was a court judgment ordering me to pay my debt for TV tax. I literally just like scanned it, saw Czech television, saw an amount, and didn't bother to read the rest. I would do an accounting of you for all the previous notices I got from Czech television, but I can't because they all have been erased after 3 months. And I did not just get one notice on Friday, I got 6 notices. And not in kde je tramvaj Czech, but in heavy, bureaucratic, lawyerly Czech. There were various amounts to pay on various pages. Some were for 1,800 crowns, some for 6,600 crowns, some for over 10,000 crowns. And there were various bank accounts to pay. It was so confusing that even my Czech colleague Radka could not confidently tell me how much to pay and to what account. And instead had to put me in touch with a lawyer she's friends with, who then determined that I did not have a leg to stand on and I had to pay 6,600 crowns immediately for a 1,600 crown late TV tax. I take 100% responsibility for this. I am a dum-dum. I paid that bill immediately. I am hoping and praying that this is somehow wiped from the court records before they freeze my bank account and deny me citizenship. I haven't heard back from the executor. I just paid it. I don't know if this was a very smart topic to make a public video about. But if you're an immigrant, please learn from my mistakes. Find yourself some Czech friends who can read your mail and tell you, this one's a scam, don't pay that. or you in deep doo-doo, you need a lawyer. There are organizations who can help you for free if you find yourself in a situation like this. Integračni Centrum Praha, ICP is one of them. I've worked with them a lot. I'll put a link to them below. But if you have a TV, just don't fight it. Pay your TV tax. Česká televize will find you, and when they do, they will fine you. And wouldn't you rather use that money to pay for excellent tram service and cheap beer? So would I. Uvidíme se příště. Ahoj.